Have you ever wanted to get back 100% of the taxes returned to you? I'm talking about getting every cent that was taken from you in either local, state, or federal taxes. Well, that's why I'm going to give you the single phrase that you need to learn in order to have that happen for you this year and every year afterwards, okay? So here's the phrase, and then I'm going to kind of like break it up a little bit, explain it a little bit more. So the phrase is line, number, letter. In this case, for example, with a 4852 on the 4852, you say, in my case that I'm going to show you in this video, you'll see line 7, A, B, C are corrected because I did not receive wages as defined in USC 26 SS 3401A and 3121A. Nor have I participated in any privileged activity. Therefore, lines E, H, I in this example are corrected and should be refunded as per USC 26 SS 3503, period. That's the phrase. Pause the video, take a note, grab a pen and paper, write it down. Pause the video, save it for later for when you're not driving so you can write it down, take this to memory. Again, I'm going to say it using this is for the example that I'm showing in the video. So again, lines 7, A, B, and C have been corrected as I did not earn any wages as defined in USC 26 SS 3401A and 3121A. Nor have I participated of any privileged activity. Therefore, lines E, H, I are corrected and should be refunded as per USC 26 SS 3503, period. Now, that's all you need. But let me give you a bit of more information so that you can have a greater understanding of what's going on there. So, what happens is the following, okay? Then let's talk about the first thing I want to share with you is what is an actual constitutionally legal tax, right? What that is an actually legal tax. A legal tax, the only thing a legal tax is an excise tax. An excise tax is a tax that's placed on income derived from certain privileged activities. Okay, so what is a privileged activity? Well, a privileged activity is any activity that requires the existence of government to be performed, okay, in order for that activity to be performed. In other words, it's not as opposed to a right, where a right is it's a God-given right for you, for in this example, to generate income and wealth and revenue for you and your family, right? So that's a God-given right, and so it's not a privilege because we don't need the state or government to exist in order for that to exercise that right. You can go do whatever you can acquire a skill, you can acquire, a trade, you can do anything and exchange that or some managerial skills or, there's different levels of values that you can provide in exchange for revenue, for pay, right? Compensation. But that is not what this is talking about. It's talking about specifically income that is derived from taxable activity, and a taxable activity is any activity that requires the existence of the state in order for that function or that activity to be performed. And another way of saying it is that if you receive funding or payment, compensation from any kind of government resource, that income and that income alone is what is taxable is what's defined as wages according to the tax law code, subsection 35, code 26, subsection 3401, as defined wages is that payment in exchange for acts of public service. And there's 4 categories, which we're going to talk about now, because that's going to, segue us perfectly into the next section, which is the 4 types. There's only 4 categories of taxable activity, and they are all related and based with and the interaction with the government, any levels of government, whether it's local, state, or federal government. These are the only 4 types of taxable activity. Nothing else, as a matter of fact, everything else is untaxable. It's not that it's not, that it's taxable or it's exempt. It's that it cannot the tax cannot be imposed on it because it is not something that the government needs to exist in order for you to exercise it. Okay, so what are those 4 taxable activities? And so those 4 taxable activities are: first, any payment or the activity is the performance of the function of public service or an elected official, as they said, right? So whether that's senators, governors, presidents, vice presidents, judges, military, postal services, things along those lines, anything that is a public office that holds government of any kind, whether that's local, state or federal, that is a taxable activity. If what you get paid for performing that public office or that function as a judge or as a whatever, then that is taxable. Okay. Second activity is people who work in government buildings and or for the government, right? So that would be people like if you work in this a public government building, such as judges, courtrooms, things along the lines as social security buildings, IRS buildings, anything that has to do, it's a government office, whether again local, state, or federal. All of those workers, their pay comes from a government source, so that is taxable activity, right? The third category, and within that is, as I did mention, military and police and first responders and things like that, people who get paid from government entities. And so the third activity is officers of government-owned businesses such as Freddie and Fannie Mae, Amtrak, USPS, and other companies in which the government holds the majority share, and you are an officer of that company, then your income solely from that activity is taxable. Okay, so that's the third one. And then the fourth category of taxable activity is what I call contractors with the government. So that's basically anybody, whether you're an individual or a corporation or any kind of company, if you receive compensation, pay in some form, financially, from any type of government source, whether it's again local, state, or federal, then that what you receive from that specific source, and only what you receive from that specific source, is taxable income as defined again by U.S. Tax Code 26, subsection 3401 and 3121A. You have both of those sections, and so it's important to understand that. Okay, those are the only 4 taxable activities. Nothing else is taxable, and everything else is untaxable. Okay, so make sure you understand that. That's the first thing I want to share with you, or that's the next thing I want to share with you. From there, great. So now you know what the line is. Now you know where to apply it, where, when, and how to apply it. Right. So here's what you do. Where on the form 4852, if you are a W-2 earner, and you receive a 1040, right? And the form that you also need. So really, what you need is you need your regular documents for filing, right? And then you would need a form 4852 or the relative form that is specific to the way that you earn, whether it's 1099 or whatever it might be, right? You take that form, and that's going to be the substitute, because what you're doing is you're correcting what was submitted in relation to you on behalf of your employer or wherever you get your money from, to say because they submitted it as wages as defined by the IRS because they didn't know any better, right? But then now you are letting them know that that's the corrected form, and that form is where it's going to say that you're going to refund, get your money back. And so it's important that you understand that. Okay. So you need your regular documents. You need Form 4852, which is the substitute, right, and the document to amend what you're filing. And then with that, you also need. That's it. That you submit the corrected information. You put the line, the phrase that I just shared with you. You put that on lines where it says, I believe it's line 9, where it says, how did you come to the numbers? In lines 7 and 8, and then you just put the phrase there, right? And then it might say, how did you, what did you do to try to get it corrected, W-2 or whatever. You could just say you sent a text message, you sent an email, you called, or, you didn't do anything. I wouldn't recommend saying you didn't do anything. You should show that you made some effort on your part, right? So whether that's a call or a text or a phone call, or an email, that way you can say that you made the effort and it'd be true. And, if they require documentation, which they probably won't, but if they do, you've got it. So, that's all you need to do to file. Now, with that said, again, it's really not as complicated as you might think. You could really do this on your own because, again, it's not complicated. It's one form that you need to add per however you get, how many ways you get paid, whether it's, your one job or you got two jobs or you got, you're an entrepreneur or you're freelancing, so you have several clients. However it is that you get paid, wherever the reporting is done, normally you file the same taxes, the same forms with the substitute or the amendment, which is the 4852 for most people, and then with that you just submit that and you're done. You put the phrase on that form and you're done. And you submit it like regular. Now, we do recommend filing certified. That the way the person who receives has to sign their name. That way you can, everything is very accounted for and everything is trackable and everything is, very specific because it is the government, right? You want to make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, right? So you want to make sure you can do that as well. But that's essentially all you have to do to file. You can take that, whether you want to do it online, you can do it online. But again, we recommend sending it to a certified mail that we can get signatures and proof. You can have receipt for everything that's going through the entire process. And so that's it, folks. That's how you get 100% of your tax returns every year without any problems from the IRS. I hope this was helpful, and if you'd like some help implementing this, but like I did say, it is as simple as use one additional form that you correct with like simple math, and so that's it. But if you'd like some help, or if you'd like some help recovering your taxes from the previous 3 years, go ahead and click the link below, and I look forward to helping you either file this year's and your previous and recover your previous year's taxes, or make any corrections to this year that you have already. So I look forward to seeing you. Go ahead and read below and click the link below to have me file your taxes for you to get this done, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it again more specifically. But it's the same exact thing, so that you can get it done from this year going on forth, or from next year on going on forth if you desire. So go ahead and click that button now, and I'll see you on the next side.